Shabbat Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. But we're going to talk about a measure that was passed by Donald Trump. And this was like back in July, either June or July. And any illegal in this country, especially if they are due for deportation, and even if they're not, they are being debanked. So, in other words, they won't have any access to the funds they have in their account. They will not be allowed to make a deposit. They won't be allowed to make a withdrawal. They are not entitled to bank loans for business, mortgage, or even for an automobile. Things they used to get, they can't get anymore. So they can't do any banking in this country. And it's what Stephen Miller called starve them out. So, being that they will lose access to their money, then it's to inspire them to leave. But it may actually do the exact opposite, in my opinion. If they lose access to their money, they will probably try to go somewhere else and hide. You can't make it in America with no money, and you can't travel outside, not unless you're doing it illegally, without money. So it's not like they get deported. So all I have to say, y'all better grab your money before it hits your account, because you can see this administration is not playing. They ain't playing. They want y'all gone by any means necessary, as you can see. So this is a big deal. This is really a big deal. So Donald Trump is saying if you are not a legal investor or have legal capital in this country, then they have the right to debank you. And it's already happening. It's already done happen to these illegals. So, and you know where I think this is stemming from? Minnesota, where the Somalians stole all that government money. I think it's stemming from that. So, oh well, that's just another sign. Maybe y'all need to just pack it in and just get the hell out of here, because things are definitely not going to get better. And if you get cut off from your bank account, you are screwed. You are screwed. Y'all ain't doing that damn well where you can do without your money. Mm-mm. All right. Let me share my screen. This is one. Hold on one second. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
The Trump administration, they're going to start debanking undocumented immigrants to encourage self deportation. Yes, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, confirmed that the Trump administration is actively pursuing a policy to debank illegal immigrants by cutting off their access to U.S. financial systems. The administration views blocking access to financial services, loans, and banking lines as a massive engine for deportation, intended to compel self deportation and disrupt unauthorized economic activity. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, under Director Russell Vought, issue guidance authorizing and in some cases requiring lenders to consider immigration status and work authorization when assessing loan repayment uh, abilities. So yeah, this is going to be a major game changer. And Stephen Miller said they're going to start meeting with more financial institutions.
The Treasury Department just issued new guidance to financial institutions, to banks. And so the next step in this process is us meeting individually with banks and financial institutions on cooperating with us to remove illegal aliens from the banking system. Once illegal aliens lose their access to capital, that is going to, again, be a major driver of self-deportation.
And this is a game changer. Let me know what you think about this new policy, what they're doing going forward to debank undocumented immigrants.
Varies. These days, they are calling most people in for an interview. Some people can go in by month 8, month 10, 2 years, 3 years. It's a 4-year extension. Sometimes people think, I'm just going to jump from removal of conditions to a new I-130. Be careful with that strategy. My preference always, honestly, is to try to finish the removal of conditions process for you. You would be in a much better shape because then those individuals are eligible for naturalization, including him. But keep going. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't lose heart. It varies. These days, they are calling most people in for an interview. Some people can go in by month 8, month 10, 2 years, 3 years. It's a 4-year extension. Sometimes people don't.
Yeah, they're not playing nice no more. They're going to completely debank anyone with an I-10 number, anyone who doesn't have documentation that proves that they're legally here. So they can't get any deposits. They can't pay any of their bills online. They will lose access to their cash in the bank if they don't get it out ahead of time. They're not playing nice. We saw a lot of the major networks yesterday refuse to play the presidential address, and they should get their licenses pulled. We'll see if that happens. Also did my first foreclosure on a tiny home. I haven't done one of those before. It doesn't get any cheaper in rent than living in a tiny home, and somebody in a tiny home fell behind. I don't know the complete details of why they would fall behind, but the fact that they have says a lot. We're at about 100 and I think 65,000 foreclosures through the end of June, up 20% year over year. Yeah, something's going on in the economy.
Okay, for all the illegal immigrants and possibly the immigrants, but right now it's just the illegal immigrants. The Trump administration, headed by Stephen Miller, is planning or is implementing a plan for debanking, debanking all illegal immigrants. He's supposed to have a meeting with all the major banks, all the major lending companies to basically put a stop to you guys putting money in the bank, pulling money out of the bank, and also getting any type of loans. He said that if you don't have capital here in the States, that would force you to go back to wherever country you came from. They're basically trying to force you out by not giving you any loans or allowing you to have any type of bank accounts, any type of savings, anything. So Steve Miller is pushing this, and it's most likely going to pass so that immigrants, illegal immigrants, cannot have any access to any banking or financial institutions at all.
If you're an immigrant and you live in the United States and you have a bank account, you need to listen to this massive breaking news. Today, President Trump signed a new executive order specifically ordering banks to shut down specific bank accounts. The order is targeting bank accounts that are opened by undocumented immigrants. The order says that these bank accounts enable illegal immigration. It also targets accounts that are used to store welfare used by undocumented immigrants. The craziest part about this executive order is that these funds will be impounded and seized and then returned to taxpayers. This is a historic, massive shift. How are these banks going to track undocumented immigrants? How are they going to be enforcing this policy? How many people are going to be impacted by wrong misclassification? That all remains to be seen. If you're undocumented and you have money in the bank, you need to act.
So some breaking news, guys, breaking news. So a few months ago, I had made a video with regards to the clown that we have running this country, stating that he was going to start making it more difficult for undocumented migrants or people with TIN numbers to get bank accounts. And everybody came on here calling me a fearmonger, a liar, that wasn't happening, that none of that was true. Well, President Dumpy Pants just let out a communications that stated that he has already began to order his administration to close bank accounts of undocumented migrants. Yes, you heard me correctly. He has ordered his administration to start closing accounts that have TIN numbers or are of undocumented migrants in the United States of America. Yes, and in this communications, he said, that we were criminals, we robbed the system, that we're the worst of the worst. And for this reason, he was going to, stop all bank accounts to undocumented migrants. So if this country wasn't bad enough and the shit that he does isn't low enough, this is pretty fucking low. This is real fucking low. Because we come here, we work, we put billions and billions and billions of dollars into your taxes that we will never see. You guys will benefit from the money that we're putting in. So now you're telling us that we're not even allowed to save money? We can't even have access to a bank account, although we have an actual ITIN number? This administration is so fucking vile and so fucking grimy that I have nothing else to say. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think with regards to President Clown Dumpy Pants, DJT's new order to close bank accounts of undocumented migrants. Share the video, guys. I love you. Have a great day and be safe out there.
Has just exclusively revealed to Fox that it's revoked 175,000 visas since the start of President Trump's second term. That is up from the 100,000 in December. The majority of the new revocations were over criminal activity, including sexual assault, child abuse, fraud, reckless driving, and embezzlement. Multiple visas were also revoked for immigrants who celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination.
That's how you do it. That's how you run United States of America. Donald Trump and the Trump administration is on their shit. You know what, though, man? That is crazy. That amount of people that have been here getting away with things they should not be getting away with. And you best believe it. Kamala Harris would have won. All these people would have been citizens right now. All right, they visas would have been approved right now. Okay, because that's what the Democratic Party want. They want to reap the havoc amongst America. This is crazy, though, man. To think is that, and this is only a small fraction, a small fraction of those that really should not be here, as you all know. I do question it. The amount of people that were let in, and as we know, apparently over 20 million. The amount of people that were let into this country, do the Trump administration, do the federal government, do they have the resource to try and deport all of them before Trump heads out? Because we don't know what 2028 is. Now, we can say very proudly that there's no way in tarnation hell that the Democratic Party will win 2028. But even then, whether it's Mark Rubio or J.D. Vance or whoever the case might be, are they going to continue that same pattern that we see with Trump administration, which is cracking down on immigration, illegal immigrants, getting them up out of here, and revoking those that disrespect our country visas? I hope so. Because this is not going to, this cleanup is not going to happen in 4 years. It's not. It's not. No way in tarnation hell. This is going to take a decade.
So America's doors are closed fully to asylum seekers. We've set up agreements where if you want asylum, then we will find a country elsewhere in the world to take you. It's very simple, a very elegant, a very complete solution. Now, of course, as you know, you've heard me talk about here many times before, all asylum claims across the southwest border are always fake. They always involve somebody who is coming from a country where they're not being persecuted based on race, religion, ethnicity, so on and so forth. Overwhelmingly, right? They're coming from other countries in the Western Hemisphere where there's no persecution based on religion, no persecution based on race, etc. In many cases, of course, they also come through dozens of other countries on their way here, where if they wanted asylum, they should have sought it first. In every case, they're either criminals, benefit seekers, economic migrants, welfare seekers, et cetera, et cetera. They're coming to join family members and so forth. But the good news for them is that we have other countries willing to take them.
Yeah. You know, that $2,600 option to leave and self deport don't seem so bad after all, because it just seems like if you try to deport out of here any other way, you're going to be empty handed because your bank account is not going to be accessible. And you know, the US government is keeping whatever money they got in those accounts that are retrieved, that are debanked. They're not going to get that money. They're not even going to be able to fight for the money to get it back. This government is going to keep their money. So, man, all I have to say is at the end of the day, was it really worth it coming here illegally? And some of y'all, it's hard to feel sorry for you. You see all kinds of Latinos been here 30, 40 years and still can't speak English. That doesn't make any sense. You're not even trying. And not to mention, you know, it didn't pay for y'all to be online being a complete nuisance to us. It didn't do you any good. At the end of the day, these white folks, they are the government. They're kicking your asses out, whether you like it or not. You got to go. And you're going to be going empty handed, regardless of what you got in your bank account. You sure won't be taking it with you. If they get a hold of your account and close it, oh, you ain't getting nothing. You're not going to get a dime. Mm-mm-mm. What, it sounds like a cricket is in my damn room. Oh, I can't stand it. I cannot listen to that all night. I'm going to have to find that little sucker. So, anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And I probably won't be doing any more lives until tomorrow. So, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat. Shalom, family.